I would like to share with you a recipe for a blueberry, peaches, and cream pie. Let's get started. So in my large resealable bag, I have 14 graham crackers that I was crushing with my rolling pin. Now feel free to use your food processor for this, but I prefer using my rolling pin and doing it with the good old muscle. So I'm going to put my graham crackers into a bowl. And this is going to be the crust for our pie. To my graham crumbs, I want to add a tablespoon of sugar and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Now you want to use butter for this rather than margarine because the butter will harden up again once it's in the refrigerator, and it will bind your graham crusts and sugar together to make a nice crust for you. Using a fork, you just want to mix the butter into the crumbs and the sugar just until everything's wet. That way you know that everything's been coated with that nice butter. That looks about right. So now we're going to pour our graham crumbs into a 9-inch deep dish pie plate. And using your clean fingers, you're going to press it down in the bottom and up the sides to make your crust. Now that our crust is pressed into our pie dish, I'm going to put this into the refrigerator for it to cool while we make our filling. Now let's get to work on our filling. So to my coffee grinder here, you could also use a small food processor. I added 1/3 cup of blueberries. And I'm going to squeeze in a tablespoon of lime juice. And just puree this up into a nice blueberry puree. Our blueberries are nicely pureed, so we're going to set these aside and work on our cream cheese. In my bowl, I have 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm just going to beat that with my electric mixer until it's nice and smooth. Now to sweeten our cream cheese, I'm using 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. This is going to make it nice and sweet, and it's going to loosen up that cream cheese a little bit so it doesn't harden up into a nice big brick again once we put it in our bowl, in our pie shell. We beat that sweetened condensed milk in with our cream cheese, and now we're going to add in our beautiful blueberry puree with that lime juice. The tartness of the lime is just going to cut through the sweetness of that condensed milk and just mellow everything out a little bit so it's not so sweet on our palate. Let's add a little bit of warmth with some vanilla. 1 teaspoon. Now blend this up until it's all combined. Everything's all blended together, so let's pour this into our pie crust. I just love the color the blueberries lent to our cream cheese and condensed milk. It's a beautiful, almost lavender color. Gorgeous. We've filled our graham crust with our blueberry cream filling, and now it's time to put it in the freezer for at least 4 to 6 hours, overnight preferably. That way it has enough time to set, and it'll be just perfect for when you slice it up for your guests. While our pie is in the refrigerator, let's make a wonderful blueberry peach topping to go on top. I have 4 ripe Ontario peaches here. I've just rinsed these under cold water. And I'm just going to take a paring knife and thinly slice these. You can tell they're nice and ripe because they just come right off the pit. And if you're looking to buy peaches in the grocery store, I find one of the best ways to know if they're ready or not is just smell them. If they smell like a wonderfully delicious sweet peach, you bet it's ready. So all our peaches are sliced. Now I'm going to take some fresh blueberries. I'd say about a cup. These have been rinsed, and I've removed any stems that I had seen. I also have a half pint jar of homemade lemon marmalade, and I'm going to put that in here to help coat our fruit and give it a nice glazed look. Now if you don't have lemon marmalade, you could also use orange marmalade or even a nice peach jam. All you want to do is gently toss these around with the spatula just to get them all coated with that wonderful marmalade. And this is going to give them a nice glazed look, a nice shiny look like you would see on fruit tarts, for example. 6 hours, and I took our pie out of the freezer. It's nice and set now. And we are going to top it with that fruit mixture that we mixed up earlier. Now if you remember, this is the fresh peaches, the fresh blueberries, and the nice lemon marmalade. So using clean hands, I'm just going to take those peach slices and arrange them in a nice decorative pattern. Once your peach slices have been arranged in a pretty pattern, you could put the blueberries in between. Now I'm going to return this to the refrigerator until I'm ready to serve. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. Now for this recipe and other delicious recipes, you can join me on my blog at hunwhatsfordinner.blogspot.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/hunwfd. Thanks so much for watching.